Morning, all. All right, we are now in August. Yes, August 1st, 2021, as we cruise into the 8th month of the year. And news video to start things off. I'll also be getting into some of the historical stuff now that things are really slowing down. Most of the free agents of note are done, and most teams are done spending their money for now, and we may see some trades, but I think a lot of the fireworks have kind of passed. Although, one firework that continued to go off this morning, Evander Kane has released a statement stating that his wife is a soon to be ex wife and that he denies any and all gambling on hockey. And this is where it's going to get tough because for people who believe he did it, a statement like this is not necessarily going to sway them. And for people who are going to say, no, I don't believe that he did do it, it's not going to sway them either. So, yeah, Evander Kane, once again, a very divisive figure publicly. That's been the case since basically his draft year. It feels like we've been talking about Kane stories for a long time. And so, yeah, he denies all of it and also made statements that she's not allowing them to see their daughter. And this is where things get kind of rough. And I do feel bad for kids in that situation, too, because, yeah. All right, so we will see if the NHL investigation finds anything or if it doesn't. And of course, this has all brought up the whole Pete Rose discussion again. For those who don't follow baseball, of course, Pete Rose was banned for life for gambling on baseball games, and that's basically the standard. If they feel like you've bet on your own games and that you maybe influenced the outcome of it to influence the outcome of that bet. And Kane's saying he had the most consistent best year of his career. So, yeah, I would imagine that 6 months from now we'll be talking about something else with Kane. Who knows? It seems to be about every 6 months that we're talking about him. So, Carolina yesterday and today making some signings take place. Stepan, and this took place right after I posted that video yesterday, signing a 1-year, $1.35 million deal with Carolina. I hope Derek Stepan has a good bounce-back year. It was rough for him in Ottawa. He had a hard time, and then he made public the idea that he wanted to play in the States so he could see his family, and then he was injured for the rest of the season. So it was a rough year for Stepan. Hopefully he has a good year in Carolina. They also signed Latunov, a 1-year, $750K contract for the former San Jose prospect. He's still young. You never know. He may be a late bloomer. And Stefan Nason also, formerly of San Jose, 1 year, $750,000. They're both two-way deals for Latunov and Nason. I'm going to say this. I know that because they get paid one salary at the NHL level and one at the AHL level, there's always confusion when we get to waiver wire time. So if you have a guy signed a two-way deal or a one-way deal, it doesn't make a difference to waivers, because I've seen many times over, we don't have to put that player on waivers to send him to the American Hockey League because he's on a two-way contract, and that's not really how that works. The waiver wire is basically that teams send a player down to the minor leagues, and they have to make him available to all teams in the league. Like, they put him on the waiver wire, and any team can claim him. And, so that does not get affected by whether or not they have a two-way contract. There are certain times where you can send a guy down, and he doesn't have to go on waivers, of course. Preseason, there's lots of time where you can just send guys down and not worry about waivers. But we'll get more into that, of course, as we get closer to the season. Now, also big news today, Marc-Andre Fleury has informed the Chicago Blackhawks he will play. He is intending to come back and play. And for right now, it looks like Chicago is all in on the idea of Fleury being a member of the Blackhawks. Now, whether or not, and of course, immediately there were some Penguin fans that wanted him back in Pittsburgh and thought, hey, if we can make this work. But it sounds like Chicago's going to go with Fleury, which would go with the theory that they believe that their rebuild is done and they're ready to go forward. The interesting thing to me is I thought Lankinen was good last year. I did, so I would imagine it'll be Fleury and Lankinen. And then Subban's on his way out, I guess. I guess Fleury's saying goodbye to Malcolm Subban in his second straight organization now, I would think. And what does this do for Colin Delia? I mean, is that kind of done now for Delia because he's, 27? So it is reaching the point where even for a goaltender, probably your odds of getting an NHL job are dropping. I also want to throw out there that there are 7 teams currently listed as above the cap on Cap Friendly, and I know LTIR is going to take care of it. I know, for most of them. The thing that I find interesting is you have a 23-man roster, and so there are fans saying, well, there's this, and this guy that Cap Friendly lists as being the NHL team, and they won't be there, right? But if they're not there, then other guys are going to be there, and usually it ends up being the same difference. So yeah, that will definitely stifle a lot of further signings and picking guys up. And right now, a lot of the players that are still out there, they'll probably get professional tryouts, which means not an actual contract. You come into camp and try to earn yourself a job. That's likely going to happen with players that are still remaining, other than a few. There are a few who likely, like Palmieri, maybe Zajac, Parise, they'll probably get jobs and not professional tryouts. However, we're always surprised by players that do get professional tryouts, aren't we? All right, so there you go. Let me know your thoughts in the comment section below as always. Don't forget to hit like and subscribe if you're browsing your way through. You just happened upon this video. Thank you guys so much for watching, for all your support. I will talk to you again soon.